Preface, Memoirs of a Pet Therapist. Over the years, I've adopted out literally thousands and thousands of dogs and cats through my appearances on television and radio. These are pets who were once abused and now are forever loved, and old-timers who would have been lingering in shelters until their lonely death if it hadn't been for the exceptional people who rescued them. Everyone knows that the easiest pets to adopt out there are the very young, puppies and kittens. But as dogs reach the year-old and over mark, it starts to be much more difficult to find them a home. And if they have health problems, it's even worse. One of these special needs dogs was named Tripod, an 11-year-old collie who was blind, deaf, and yes, missing a leg. While explaining on a local cable TV show the concept of how I believe that animals adopted from shelters and humane societies pay you back every day, I told the sad story of how Tripod's owners had died and no one wanted him. It would take just the right kind of person to make sure this dog would be taken care of, considering the commitment involved. This was a dog that maybe had a year or so to live, and with all his disabilities, his care required a high level of responsibility. Now, where does one find that right type of person? Well, I don't know if they're sent by God or if their hearts are simply full of love for any living thing. But sure enough, a number of them called for Tripod, and he had the chance to spend his last years in love and security. So anytime I lose faith in society or start to feel that people just don't have the feelings of compassion they used to have, I remember the story of Tripod. It always lets me know just how many good people are out there. Then there was the 18-year-old cat whose owners had died, and the family was going to have the cat put to sleep because they didn't want to be bothered taking care of it. I mean, what a legacy. This guy obviously adored this cat, pampered it for 18 years, and now the family wanted to kill the cat because they didn't want the responsibility. How does one find a home for an 18-year-old cat, which is beyond its years anyway? It amazes me, but we did find a home for her. Over the years, there have been many hard luck cases and pets who have been mistreated by their owners. And yet, although it is difficult for us to understand why, these blessed creatures are still ever forgiving. Many people say that why I'm close to animals because I don't have that much faith in mankind. Fortunately, there are thousands of people across the country who are unsung heroes, rescuing animals and spreading the message of spaying and neutering, and they restore my belief that man is kind. I remember some of the battles I had when people would say to me, "Warren, it's just a bad dog, or it's just a bad cat. What good is it?" I've had this argument with veterinarians and trainers and behaviorists. Everyone was an expert. It has to be put to sleep or sent away somewhere. Maybe, just maybe, my way of thinking is a little eccentric, and heaven forbid I should ever be called eccentric. But honestly, I believe that there are no bad pets. Only pets who've been dealt a bad hand by the people they live with. This is my attitude. Never say never, because there's always something that can be done rather than jeopardize the life or cause any type of pain or injury to any animal. I believe I was put here to help bridge the gap between people and animals. My ability to talk with animals is a lot different from most people. For me, it's simply a matter of understanding that a dog doesn't have to talk like I do. It's understanding an animal's parapsychology or body language. So I get down on the floor with them and I speak their language. Sometimes I feel there are thoughts going back and forth between my mind and the dog or cat's mind like telepathy. The amazing Kreskin once said, "Warren, you have an uncanny ability to communicate with animals. And it doesn't matter what kind of animal it is. A snake, a dog, a bird, it makes no difference. We talk to each other. Sometimes I'll see someone walking down the street with a little dog, and instinctively, I'll bend down and give the dog a kiss. There's no facade with animals. If they like you, they'll let you know. They're upfront about how they feel. With people, you can meet them for a friendly drink, but then after you leave, they call you an SOB. With an animal, you don't get that drink, just total honesty. When I work with animals, we become personal friends. I feel close to them. I'm colorblind, so I have a very strong sixth sense. I'm very instinctive, and my instinct tells me that I've chosen my life's work well. I've worn out close to 1,000 pairs of jeans, and over the last 25 years trying to see the world from a dog's point of view. For instance, I see no reason why owners should try to maintain strict control over an animal at all times. Why does my dog have to walk on my left side? It makes no sense at all. How much fun is it for your dog to have to walk in the same position around the block? Let him lift his legs, smell around. Most people are too domineering and bossy. over their pets especially. People need to get rid of their human egos and accept animals more as equals to better understand them. I've seen my dogs laugh at me when I did something stupid. I've seen them yawn when they were bored and smile when they were happy. Try to see the world from your pet's point of view and act accordingly. You and he or she will both be happier. You know, whether I'm working in Beverly Hills, on Park Avenue, or in Everytown, USA, one thing is perfectly clear. The value of a pet in the home is worth $1 million. Money can't bring you happiness, but 4 paws, a wagging tail, and a cold nose certainly can. And remember, always have praise, not food, always have praise in your pocket for your pet.